SGA once again. Little hesitation. The left hand. What a move by SGA.
Another block.
Chet Holmgren, the long arm of the law.
In the game. These are key minutes without SGA. And another drive. J. Dom cocks it back and throws it down.
This is New Dart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast, coming to you live Tuesday, April 22nd, after Game 2 of the first round, where the Oklahoma City Thunder really let us down after Game 1, 118-99 victory over the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. I got my guy, Justin Peabody, with me.
Hello, everybody.
I also got Nick Crane.
You must have been out marketing the pod tonight. I see multiple chats talking about seeing Jacob at the game and stickers.
Man of the people.
Handing out the stickers.
Well, I guess we can probably officially say if you want stickers at Paycom Center, you may have to wait till next round.
I think that might be fair. Hey, we are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and the dudes over at Prairie Artisan Ales, which Justin, I believe, dropped a new drink today.
Yeah, they did drop a new drink today called Shai's Secret Stuff. Amazing. It's a seltzer, a blue seltzer that I don't remember what it's made with, but it sounded really good. And they have a special Prairie OKC basketball themed glass available in the tap room for a limited time, which is pretty excellent.
You know, there might be a really good opportunity for people to get that Prairie glass and Shai's Secret Stuff. And that would be this Saturday, 2:30 p.m. at Prairie, as we host the first Thunder playoff watch party at Prairie. Game 4. Bring your brooms.
Let's go. Bring your brooms.
Oh, I like the synchronicity there. Is that the word?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a word, buddy.
It
Might
is
be.
now. We will be having a watch party at Prairie. We're all going to hang out, watch the Thunder sweep the Memphis Grizzlies. Then we're going to live pod from Prairie, so you can hang around and listen to the show live. It'll be awesome. So make your way out to Prairie Artisan Ales on Saturday, 2:30 p.m. You might want to get there a little bit early to get a spot. Let's make it happen. I also need it to be known that I will be in and out as I am eating a cheesecake while we record this podcast. You got to celebrate.
Dedication right there.
Also, make sure you join the Patreon. You can scan that QR code in the top left corner of your screen if you are watching, or just follow the link in the description of the pod. It's just patreon.com/theuncontested. Lots of comments coming in the chat tonight. Connor, my Lord.
Coming at him.
That's
Brantley,
insane.
Brantley asking what kind of cheesecake. Some other people are asking some questions. If you want those answered, you have to drop super chats.
Unbelievable.
We're not.
Jacob is a
such a
super
money
chat
grubber.
merchant.
He is.
Cream cheesecake in the chat from George. All right, we're going to talk basketball, but if you want us to reach a comment, you got to give us money.
Stop. I will read some of your comments, peasants.
I'll kill the stream. All right, 118-99, Oklahoma City over the Memphis Grizzlies. Gentlemen, this game started the first quarter. I thought we were headed towards a 60-point win instead of a 50-point win, as the first quarter ended 32-17. I think the Grizz had 4 points in the first 6 minutes of the game.
Started 0 of 9.
It was just pure annihilation. Grizzlies did score 35 in the second, 27 in the third, and then held to 20 in the fourth. The Thunder didn't shoot great tonight. 43% from the field, 33% from three. Free throws were 14-16 in free throw attempts, so you love to see that. I said for a long time on this show that if the whistle balances out in the postseason, watch out. so far it's balanced out and it's been kind of disgusting.
Yep. Yes,
Nick,
it has.
From this game, like just hit us with the takeaway. Like when you think about this game and what you just watched, what is going through your mind?
Two things in one, both offensive related. In many scenarios, without having a dominant defense, we might be having a bad podcast right now with the last two offensive starts for the Thunder. Like, while it was 11-2, I think, to start, it took the Thunder 7 or 8 minutes to get to 11. Is another one that falls in the offensive category of not concerning, but like in most other series, it's probably not good enough to get it done. So that's a negative takeaway to start. But I think we got to find some things to talk about that are not sunshines and roses. And yes, I know my internet sucks. At least I'm here.
What's worse than the offense is your internet.
Oh my gosh, I agree. I know.
No, it's a fair.
Hopefully
a fair
you can
point,
hear
Nick.
even if you can't see.
The Thunder's defense has been unreal. Oklahoma City held Memphis to 99 points tonight, which ties the previous low before Sunday's game where they held them to 80. So you have the two lowest scoring outputs of Memphis's entire season, in which they were one of the highest scoring offenses in the NBA coming in this series so far. Oklahoma City's been relentless, and I think their depth of defenders that they can throw at different Memphis players has really been showcased in this series. That lineup they threw out there where they put out Caruso and Kaysen together in the third quarter was disgusting. They went out and just made life miserable for everybody on the floor. Not to mention Dub and Dort and Chet's 5 blocks and what Hartenstein was doing in the middle, right? Like all those guys are doing what they've done all season. It's just overwhelming. That's the word I used on Sunday. And that I'm coming back to it tonight. The defense is just, it's suffocating.
Justin, a few things from what you just said. That third quarter, we also saw what I call the hell lineup, the demon lineup of Shai, Queso, Dort, AC, and Dub. We only saw it for like 3 possessions, but it came in, and I got pretty excited about that. The loudest the crowd maybe got tonight was Alex Caruso guarding a Triple J post-up, forcing a fumbled ball, getting on the ground, and causing a tie-up. That place went nuts.
Crowd sounded awesome tonight again.
It was awesome. And I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Kaysen Wallace and Alex Caruso coming in off the bench. Those aren't 2 men coming off of a basketball bench. Those are 2 demons coming out of the 7th level of hell to just torment you into oblivion.
Taylor, is that you?
That's me. I am here.
No, the dinging.
The dinging.
The dinging? Oh, maybe. I don't hear it.
Huh. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi saying I'm about to blow up.
It's insane.
Someone's got to fix the dinging or I'm going to go nuts.
I don't hear the dinging on.
It's definitely me because I opened up my Mac and now all the texts are coming in at once.
Oh, my.
Oh, gosh, Taylor. Put it on silent.
DMs be blowing up, Taylor.
That's right.
Let us know how it really is.
The most Taylor entrance to the pod ever.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hey,
welcome to the pod, Taylor.
In.
Hey, I'm here.
We're 10 minutes in, but I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. Okay, the dinging has stopped. Thank God. We're 10 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. It is time for the King of the Prairie, presented by Prairie Artisan Ales.
I'm gonna take one crazy guess on.
I'm waiting for Justin to put the Prairie. There we go. There we go. It is time for Prairie Artisan Ales, King of the Prairie. Justin. Nick left already. Justin, before we announce our King of the Prairie, can you tell the folks a little bit about Prairie Artisan Ales? I know I just plugged the watch party, but
We sure did. Prairie has been putting out some incredible beers. Like I mentioned earlier, Shai's Secret Stuff coming out. This is a new one that I picked up this weekend, Lemon Slice. Tastes like a lemon bar, and it's fantastic. Highly recommend. So if you want a great place to go watch Game 3 on Thursday, grab some beers, $3 beers on Thunder game days, and then come back Saturday, for the watch party.
It's going to be a blast. Can't wait. Like Jacob said, bring your brooms.
King of the Prairie. We can all name our kings of the prairie. We all have our personal kings. Mine is none other than Alex Caruso.
That is the correct answer.
13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, a block, game high plus 18 in 22 minutes. This man was insane tonight. And I want you guys to both know something. The end of the first quarter ended with a Thunder miss at the buzzer. And as the ball came off the rim, Alex got up and got a hand on it to throw down a putback. And if that happened, I wouldn't be wearing a playoff shirt. I wouldn't be wearing any shirt.
Wouldn't be wearing any pants.
I would be naked just in the Jordan 1s.
That's unreal.
He did. I mean, he had an opportunity there, and you could tell he wanted it. And the crowd got
Alex
excited.
dunking or me taking my pants off?
Well, maybe both.
Both.
You ain't wrong.
Caruso was awesome tonight.
Just absolutely everywhere.
The first game making a huge impact without scoring. Tonight making a huge impact and scoring. Like, had some great offensive plays tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He's reached another level. 22 minutes tonight is pretty good burn. Second most off the bench behind Kaysen. First game, pretty limited, but granted, the situations of the game probably dictated that quite a bit. Playing in that role in that amount of minutes is just, it looks like the perfect situation for Kaysen so far on this team. Very early, very, very limited circumstances that we've seen it, like I said, but it's super impressive. You can absolutely see why Caruso was a perfect addition to this roster. It's paying dividends in the first 2 playoff games already.
There's a reason they paid him $80 million.
Right.
The $80 million extension. There's a reason. And people question it during the regular season. If you want to know why they made that trade, if you want to know, I like how
I'm laughing at you with the fork.
If you want to know, here's my cheesecake, by the way. Oh, look at that bad boy.
It looks great.
Wow. Not a lot left.
Nope. I'm going ham on this thing.
If
If
you
you want
like
to
Alex
know,
Caruso,
if you want to know why they paid Caruso, if you want to know why they made that trade, you turn on the Game 2 tape. The dude was everywhere.
and the Game 1 tape.
It felt like there were 3 Carusos out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like Justin mentioned, he's 5 of 10 from the floor, 3 of 6 from 3, has some huge 3-point attempts. The guys were just finding him. That was one thing that really stood out to me from the game as a whole. It's just, it felt like the Memphis defense, they just have no perimeter defense. There were so many, and that's a large reason, I think, why the Thunder were fairly inefficient tonight, why they took so many 3-point attempts, only 15 of 45 from 3. But Memphis was just giving them that all game, and Caruso took absolute advantage. But they're in that fourth quarter. I mean, you mentioned that play, Jacob, where Caruso dives onto the floor, gets the steal, gets tied up, and he just starts clapping on the floor, getting the crowd fired up. Then the very next possession down on defense, he's looking at the crowd. I forgot what he did on the offensive side of the floor, but he's pumping us up. He's waving at the crowd, trying to get them loud, like he was just feeding into it. He was incredible. Some of those plays he had defensively, was it a J-Dub dunk? I think that J-Dub, another great J-Dub dunk there in the third or fourth quarter came from a Caruso still. I mean, there's just not enough to say about him. And also him and Kaysen together is another theme too.
They were awesome.
Jacob still has his mouth full. But I have I've talked all season on the podcast.
Is anybody else going a different, before you move on, Taylor, anyone else going a different King of the Prairie?
No, not at all. There's no way you can. We can do a Prince of the Prairie, though, like we typically do.
Let's do that, because I want to know who you guys have as your second best player of the game.
Chet Holmgren. yet again was fantastic, and he's doing so incredibly efficiently. When we think about Chet, we all know his upside. We all want to see him have that 30, 40-point playoff game or regular season game and kind of be the 1A, 1B to Shai's 1A, 1B. But what he's been doing these 2 games, I mentioned it Sunday night when we podcasted, talking about game 1, but he's just putting together incredible 2-way, all around games, just complete games. Tonight, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 6 of 14 from the floor, took 8 3-point attempts, which is great to see. Got to the line, 5 of 6, but he had 5 blocks. And ESPN tweeted this out. Chet joined Dwight Howard twice, Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon, Amari Stoudemire as the only players to total 20-plus points.
Amari who?
Stoudemire.
Okay.
We'll let it slide.
As the only players to total 20-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, 5-plus blocks in a playoff game before turning
That's an
23.
insane group of people.
That's all-time greats.
Yeah.
He's also the first sophomore with these numbers, 20 points, 11
One of those
rebounds,
things
5
is not
blocks.
like the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what was wild is 2 of those 5 blocks came in the last 40 seconds of the game. Like, that was one of the things that stood out, not just from Chet, but everybody. This team, up 18 with 30 seconds left, was going just as hard as they did at the very beginning of the game. Chet got 2 blocks. Hartenstein had the putback slam. Like,
The crowd went crazy.
They were not taking their foot off the gas to the final whistle. And that mentality, I think Candace Parker said it on the ESPN broadcast of, you would expect the Grizzlies to showcase some of that urgency tonight after what happened on Sunday. Yet the Thunder looked like the team with more urgency, more of that back against their wall mentality all night long. Memphis looked passive most of the night.
And they came out passive.
There's so many more things I want to say about this game. Nick, we went Alex Caruso for King of the Prairie. Who is your Prince of the Prairie?
So you're not going to let me push back on King. You're just saying, who's your prince?
Nope. You don't get to.
Okay.
The king is crowned, brother. No insurrections here.
Long live the team.
I'm between Dub and Chet.
Talk about Dub because Taylor just talked about Chet.
I just think that he's, and maybe not even like the reason I'm saying this is maybe not because Dub was the second best player in the game. I think the reason that I'm saying he was Prince is because he probably had the heaviest weight on his shoulders from an external kind of perception and expectation standpoint entering the playoffs. And yes, it's the Grizzlies. Yes, the series that actually matter are in the future, not today. But I can't.
Uh-oh. We lost Nick. The Wi-Fi.
Suspense. Dub, where I think
Justin.
he was going with that a little bit, is similar to what I was going to say. We talked a lot, especially after how the playoffs went last season. There was pressure on Dub to perform. There, and even stretches of the regular season. We needed to see Dub perform at a high level. The first 2 games of the series, he's been incredible on both ends of the floor. He has scored at will. He's looked aggressive and decisive. His defense has made a huge impact no matter who he's on. That strip of Desmond Bane to take it the other way for the slam was fantastic. What we've seen from Dub through the first 2 games has been exactly what you needed to see from him heading into this playoff run. Nick, I'll let you finish your own thought now that you're back.
I don't even know where it stopped. I mean, like, Dub's been great. Dub has lived up to the expectations. He deserves some praise. I think that's worth Prince of the Prairie.
I think what you mentioned there, Nick, about the pressure, right, for Dub to perform, like we said, we talked about it heading into when we did our preview podcast heading into the series, but him needing to perform when either Shai doesn't have it or Shai sitting on the bench, him being able to control that second quote unquote lineup. what I love about Dub is he's balanced that so well. I think Dub as a player, honestly, the way he's been playing the past 2 games, he could have had 30 points each of those games. We said that with Shai. He could have been more aggressive shooting, whatever it may be. Dub could have as well, but he's threading the needle so perfectly right now between setting up his teammates in that lineup and also finding his own shots. And he's just, he doesn't need 30 points a game to impact the game at such a high level. And he continues to perform, obviously, so well on the defense side of the ball. Jacob, we were watching it in person. You see J-Dub on, Desmond Bain sometimes or John Morant sometimes. And then a couple possessions later, you see him switch on to Triple J and absolutely locking him down. His versatility defensively, maybe he's not as loud as the Casey Wallace is and the Alex Caruso's, but it's no coincidence that those lineups there, that second unit lineup, if you want to call it that, with those 3 specifically, like J-Dub's a huge catalyst for that. And that just showed itself again, game 2.
Yep, absolutely. J-Dub's been freaking incredible. It's so much fun to watch. So many other things I want to talk about in this game. We can take the King of the Prairie thing off now. Come to the watch party. We would love to see you there Saturday, 2:30. If you're going to be there, drop a super chat. Let us know. I don't know. There's so many things I want to talk about in this game. Let's
Pay to say you're going to be there.
Please. We would love to know you're going to be there with a super chat. Let's I don't even know where to go. Let's start here. Aaron Wiggins came in at the start of the second quarter. I thought was awesome. Ended with 7 minutes. Saw no second half action. How do we feel about that? I haven't heard any post game comments yet, so I don't know if Mark spoke on this. But how do we feel about Wiggins 7 minutes in the second quarter and then just never seeing the floor again? And a game that I thought he was providing some really good offense.
I think it just speaks to the depth of this team. And we've talked about this, how, throughout the regular season, it'd kind of be nice to see somebody get some Connor. Shout out Connor B. There it is. Jacobs pleading for money works yet again.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
We talked about during the regular season how it would be kind of nice for a bench player to step up with more consistency and kind of have like more of a 6-man scoring punch off the bench when the Thunder kind of struggle there. But what's rang true throughout the entirety of the regular season and so far in these playoffs is that it's a combination of players off the bench. And so, game 1, it was Aaron Wiggins who was the leading scorer off the bench with 21 points. Tonight, Alex Caruso was playing so well. You're going to get more of those minutes to Caruso and less to Wiggins. That being said, it still is interesting. He didn't really play much in the second half. But ultimately, I think that's the reasoning. And we probably see more Wiggins game 3, just depending on what the game kind of shows, right? And what Mark sees.
Feels like a more traditional shortened playoff rotation for Oklahoma City tonight.
It's a good point.
Still went 10 deep, but J. Will 3 minutes, Aaron Wiggins 7 minutes. You're really looking at the starters plus Caruso, Joe, and Wallace.
How deep they get?
Jacob.
No, sir. I don't remember what I was saying. Daigneault was shortening the rotation, and it felt like
he wasn't going quite as deep.
Stop it. It was I think partly a reaction. The game did get close, right? This was still
a 9-point game in the third quarter.
I think it got down to 7.
Yeah.
And you gotta respond to that. And I think that was the response you saw Daigneault take tonight. I think was tightening up some of those rotations.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Jay Will only got 3 minutes. Isaiah Joe 17. It seems like when it gets down to like the top 7 guys, it is very clearly starting 5 plus AC plus Kaysen. Didn't talk a ton about him, but I thought Kaysen Wallace was awesome tonight as well.
Agreed.
Let's flip the coin real quick. We just talked about a guy for the Thunder that didn't play a lot of minutes, although we felt like he should have played more. Let's talk about a guy for the Grizzlies who played a lot of minutes and shouldn't have played any, and that is I have dubbed him the Jolly Green Giant, the big oaf himself, Zach Edey is unplayable.
Barbecue chicken,
Like,
as another big Shaq would say.
I think there's two ways to look at this. A, he's unplayable, and he is not the reason they are losing this series. They're losing the series because they're not as good as the Thunder, and they're just getting they're getting their ass whooped is what's happening. But Edey is not helping. Flip side, what does Memphis really have to play for? So maybe you just get Edey a lot of minutes just to get him the experience in the trial by fire. But Edey tonight, hey, 2 of 3 from the field. Good job, Edey. 4.7 rebounds.
Wow.
And just attacked over and over and over and over and over again in the pick and roll. There was a stretch there in the second quarter with Wiggins where the game plan was super easy. Who's Edey guarding? Bring that guy up to set the screen. Watch Edey drop about 4 steps, come off the screen, drive, give the man the simplest pass fake in the world. Watch him about trip over his damn feet as he's like fumbling in the paint, and then you lay the ball in. Like he can rebound and he's huge, but even the rebounding, like the Thunder were just tapping rebounds out and away from him. They ate the Grizzlies alive on the glass tonight.
Yep.
Edey just can't do anything. He's just a big body that can set big screens, which awesome. But they're not even throwing the ball to him on the roll.
Because they can't. When
I
they try
just,
to, it gets disrupted.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the Thunder defense.
Part of it is like maybe you should play Edey to get him the trial by fire. The other part is I don't think Edey's in the league in 2 years.
That's spicy.
Is it?
I think it's a little spicy.
He's got talent, but I mean,
he's going to be like Boban, but not as cool.
I remember
not going to get invited to John Wick.
No. He will have many years beyond his rookie scale deal. This is his first playoff series, and it sucks. It's against the Thunder, who has one big who can space the floor, another big who is basically a point guard in a 7-footer's body. I think if Zach Edey was playing against 4 or 5 of the other 8 Western Conference teams, I guess you can't include Memphis, of the other 7 Western Conference teams in his first round series, he would not be this bad. This is
You think so?
Yes.
He wouldn't be
largely
great, but
he wouldn't be. I'm not saying he's gonna like dominate a series.
He'd be
but
playable.
like he would be
I
playable.
agree. You'd want him against Zubac, I think. Like I could see you.
I think you
matching
want him
up
against
there
like the Steven Adams Rockets
Right.
lineups. I think he'd be great.
I think he's weak.
It's all matchup.
He's
dependent.
incredibly weak with the basketball.
He is, and he's
also a
uncoordinated.
rookie. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's an older rookie too.
Okay.
I also remember Jonathan Gavoni tweeting about how he should be in contention for the #1 pick, and I got blocked for calling him out to pampering for
No,
agents.
he's not. He's not the #1 pick worthy. He's not a superstar in the NBA, but I think without a doubt he has a place in this league. And I think saying it, he will not make it past his rookie skill deal is
his place in the league is on a 2-way contract.
Unbelievable.
All right.
I don't think he's that great. I think in
Brandon Carlson better.
the era of the NBA, I don't. He's too slow.
Yep, I think
He's too slow, and
fair.
teams are just going to expose him defensively over and over and over again. Anyways, I digress. Zach Edey is not helping the Memphis Grizzlies win any basketball games in this series. Justin, where do you want to go next?
I think we have to talk about Shai.
I was going to ask if we want to go to Shai next.
If you want to look for a negative, the offensive output from Shai, scoring-wise, has been probably the worst 2-game stretch of the season. Held below 20 points on Sunday. Tonight, he's over 20. Actually, 27 is a little higher than I thought in my head, but 10 of 29 shooting, 3 of 10 from behind the arc.
Oof.
He's just not hitting shots like he has the entire rest of the season. He's
And he
not
had a
taking
quote.
bad looks. I don't think the Grizzlies, like, they're not doing anything interesting defensively that I think is causing this. I think he's just missing.
He had a quote post game. Sorry, Justin. I thought you were pausing there. That's why I was going to bring it up. I'll see if I can find it here.
While you're looking for it, it's a lot of it's the middies that are just aren't going in. Like it's the shots he typically gets, and they're just not dropping, which is a little surprising. He had a play today where we've watched this team so much that we kind of know what's coming, right? He had a play today where he got the ball probably like 15 feet from the basket on the baseline, a little higher up than the baseline, and started backing down Scottie Pippen Jr. And I looked at my girlfriend and I said, baseline, turn around, midi. He's gonna turn baseline and he's gonna pull up because that's what he does every time.
Yep.
And he like instead pivoted
Wow.
into the paint and like took like this weird floater looking shot. And I was like, that's not what he does, you know? So it's just some things are just a little weird.
Agreed. So it's
You
Shai.
seen that meme of the guy at the baseball game with his hand
That's
around
not
the
me,
girl?
Nick.
Yes.
That's
It's
not
you.
me, Nick.
Shai's gonna.
This is not what regularly
baseline.
happens. Normally he does this and that and that. And she's like,
That-
I don't
that
even know
kinda
what you're
was me.
saying.
I love
so
that.
good.
That's good. Shai said post game exactly what you three just kind of mentioned. He said, I feel like I'm getting looks I usually make, just missing them. Because my team is good, we've won 2 games by a decent margin. They had my back the last 2 nights. But Shai recognizes it as well. One thing I found interesting, and look, we need to talk about the other side of Shai's game because I thought he's playmaking at a very high level.
Agreed.
Can we pause for a second?
That
The
that
dribble
behind the
move,
back,
no look over the head pass.
Kalu for the 3. Oh my gosh. That
Lord,
was dirty.
whoo.
Dirty.
Yeah. He's still a very strong positive when he's on the floor.
Yeah,
It's
8
not
rebounds,
like-
5 assists.
It's not like he is bringing the team down. He's still doing everything else that Shai does, facilitating, keeping things going, being an instigator, doing
but-
good things on the defensive end, just
His
not
defense
making
is-
shots.
But tonight, in comparison to game 1, I want your guys' thoughts. It felt to me he forced a lot more shots because he knew he didn't have it going. He wanted to get it going. Those 3 threes that he had were huge. And I thought after those first 2, like, this is it. We're finally going to get some momentum. Shai's going to take over. He never did. He immediately went down the mid-range and was missing. It seemed like he was short on everything. It's just, it's very strange, uncharacteristic.
I did think he hit like timely shots though. That really
Correct.
That
Absolutely.
third quarter, he hit some big shots.
But also,
Justin, we got another super. You want to pop that one up?
We do. It's very relevant from our guy Carey says it's
Carey.
honestly better that Shai struggle now rather than the other way around. The younger guys with less experience are playing well because I know Shai will come out of it. See you guys at the finals.
love it.
It says at the finals.
The finals.
Harry, you need to
Carey.
fix that spelling check and then resubmit it with another $10, please.
I was going to say something along those same lines, Carey. I think the fact that the Thunder are winning these games like they won them with Shai not scoring up to his usual clip is a huge testament to this team. And I think the as much as Shai's scoring output could be the negative of the series so far, the way they've won these games in spite of it is a huge positive. We talked about some of the individual performers, but like winning a game by 19 points where J-Dub and Chet kind of lead things from a scoring perspective is awesome. That's a massively positive sign moving forward.
Absolutely. And Nick, you kind of touched on this earlier with Dub, and if you don't freeze a million times, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one as well. But I think we all believe Shai's gonna find it. Like, he's the MVP.
Yeah.
We've seen it for so long. Shai's gonna find it. My thing is, and Justin, you were just digging into this as well. The other guys who have kind of found their role and stepped up. I'm not saying the same numbers, but if this is the Chet and W get, and then Shai rounds back into form, that's how we're podcasting from a parade in June.
Right.
Agreed. Shai will be a heck of a lot better. A heck of a lot better. Like, if Shai was Shai these first 2 games, we're talking 70-point loss, 40-point loss. Like, like for real. Like, that's not an exaggeration. Like, if he's making his shots at the rate he can. Yeah, I think if Shai, or when Shai gets back to his MVP level form, and if Dub maintains what he's done these first 2 games, I know I'm normally the negative guy in the pod. I have no freaking clue how the heck you beat the Thunder, no matter what conference you're in, no matter what the match. If those 2 things happen, assuming the defense doesn't fall off a cliff, assuming there's no injuries, a lot of things happen. I just think the Thunder will win a title, no matter what.
It's hard to disagree with. I mean, I can't remember what Dub's game 1 numbers were, but the dude's over 50% from the floor in this series, and I think essentially averaging 25 and 5. Yep. And he's just, Connor said it earlier in the chat, he's in like the flow state. Everything just looks so smooth with him. Yep. He's making the right read. I think back to game 1 specifically, there were 3 plays in game 1 that were just the epitome of like the Dub experience so far. One was like the ball was whipping around. It found Dub like right at the free throw line, who had a touch pass over to Hartenstein for a dunk. And in the second quarter, they got the same play twice, which was Dub off a screen, crash hard down the lane, defense collapses. He gets to the rim, kicks it to the corner to AC, who swings it one pass up to Wiggins, who pulls the 3 at the elbow and hits it. It was the same exact play 2 times in a row. Doesn't result in an assist for J-Dub. It's like it's the hockey assist, but it's emblematic of what they want to do. Crash the paint, collapse the defense, spray it out, swing, 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 bucket. And he's playing that to a T, and then Taylor was hitting on it a second ago. Hey, you need to go out there and guard Jaw for a little bit. Or we need you on Bane. And then now we need you to guard Triple J. And he can do any of it. Like he's just so insanely versatile. You can put him in any lineup. Like if you get this Dub, the second guy that we've talked about that they need, like I'm with Nick. I think they're going to win a title.
It's a big if.
Yeah, of course.
To say like, yeah, if all 3 of the Thunder's best players are firing on all cylinders. But how often does that happen for any team? But that's why it's encouraging right now, right? Is those 2, J-Dub and Chet, were the 2 entering the playoffs before Sunday's game. Those are the 2 that you are most concerned about, right? It's why we brought them up on our preview show of like, these are the guys that are going to have to be the X factor for the Thunder because they've been a little up and down. Chet's been hurt. We haven't seen the best performances from Chet post injury return. J-Dub's been a little more inconsistent than most Thunder fans would like.
Coming back from his injury
but,
as well.
Again, right? Like, that's why it's so encouraging. And you've got to think that Shai, at some point, looks like the Shai we saw for 82 games.
And that's the thing. This Thunder team, you're going to have a handful of games where all 3 are performing like this and all the cylinders are clicking on all levels to be able to win a championship. We know that. But the Thunder have proven that they can do that, as well as have off nights, like the past 2 games where Shai isn't performing at this level. Other guys are stepping up. That's kind of one final thought of mine. Wrapping up our conversations about J-Dub and Shai. Game 1, game 2, the Thunder going on their best runs, their best lineups have been with Shai on the bench. And it's not because we've gone into why Shai isn't performing, like he usually does. But what stood out to me is it is a different style of play. So when you have Shai on the floor, you're still going to have this disruptive defense and stuff, but it's not the same as when you have like Alex Caruso and Casey Wallace and then J-Dub there to lead the break, right? So can this Thunder team find that balance to where Shai's on the floor, he's doing his thing, he scores 15 points in the first quarter, but then the second quarter happens and this lineup comes in and they're still able to muck it up like they have these first 2 games. And then Shai comes back in towards the end of the second quarter and you're playing a slightly different style of basketball, but you're still able to dominate in different ways. And I'm curious if they can put it all together. Is kind of what I'm getting at. Big picture.
It'll be awesome when they do. And Taylor, to that point of putting it all together, one of your predictions came true tonight. You predicted
Triple
that
20s.
the triple 20s, that Chet, J-Dub, and Shai would all have 20 points in the same game tonight. Chet with 20, 24 for J-Dub, and 27 for Shai.
Bang.
Good job,
Well
Taylor.
done.
Mine's not going to come to fruition because, well, I said Kaysen would close if the game was close. The games haven't been close.
Yep.
And Kaysen hasn't closed.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm 0 of 0 on those.
Fair enough.
But your point is still a pretty good one, I think. Just has some
I
input.
honestly, second half, whenever they subbed Alex out, I was like, I don't know if I'd do that. The dude's just like playing like a maniac. I just let him stay out there and just murder people.
Write it out.
Nick, unmuted. You got something to say?
No, I love the sentiment of I'm not sure you should do that. Like this guy's causing havoc, but like the Thunder has multiple guys that do that. Like
Yeah.
all the
Yep.
things Alex Caruso gets all the credit for from the national media. Like the Thunder does not get all the credit it deserves from national media. Alex Caruso does. He's won a title. He's played a lot of places. He's built a reputation. When I watch Queso, it's like that is literally Alex Caruso, but in a
With braids.
10 years younger body. Like
Yep.
Right.
him, I guarantee you in 2028, when we're talking on this podcast, maybe there's a title or two under the belt, and Kaysen is a star level player. I think Jacob's probably the biggest on Kaysen in this entire pod. We will, without a doubt, in a different way. I'm not saying the Chris Paul Shai mentorship is at the same level as Caruso and Kaysen, but there will, without a doubt, be many things that Kaysen does that we will look back and say, "Holy crap, that is
You
Alex
learned that from
Caruso."
Caruso. Bingo.
That will happen.
And
Absolutely.
here's a fun question, Nick. 2 games into the series, we have 2 super awesome, like crowd-raising, screaming to the moon, Kaysen dunks. Do we get 1 per game? Do we
Yes.
get two more?
Obligatory case and dunk.
The one tonight was sick, dude.
It was.
What
It
a
was
hard question to
awesome.
answer.
He
I
pump
think
faked
that-
Zach Edey, and that brother ended up in the concourse.
I think that when the playoffs come to an end, whether it's an ending in a title or ending in an exit, and you think about how many games the Thunder played, Kaysen will have that many crazy dunks. It'll be 1-to-1. I don't know if he'll do every
Crazy is, like,
game.
subjective.
Well, I mean, it's did it make you stand up off
Awesome.
your couch?
But, yeah. When Alex
Rip your
Caruso
free
comes off the
t-shirt
bench,
off.
I stand up off my couch.
We need to get you in a headband. I said
Hey,
it last
I
pod.
posted in the Discord tonight. If somebody wants to buy and mail me a headband,
What
This
is
is-
with you?
They're
I will-
already paying
I
for it.
will wear it.
Such a
every
grifter.
I will wear it every like playoff post game pod. That's a win. It'd feel really weird to wear it sad in a loss. But for
Just like
every
a
win,
sad
I will
solo
wear the
pod
headband.
with the headband.
So if you want to buy me a headband and send it to me,
Unbelievable.
if you're in OKC, I'll meet you and you can give me the headband. If you're not and you want to buy it, mail it to me. I'll give you my address.
Don't meet him in person. I'll ask you for a super chat. Just mail it.
You start
It's
to
like-
talk to me, I'll say, "Shut up. Where's my
He'll
money?"
He'll ask you for a tip for delivering his
after you-
headband.
after you
throw
get
the
done
iPad
hanging out,
around.
After you get done hanging out with Jacob, he turns his phone around and asks if you'd like to leave a tip.
10, 15, or 20%, baby.
No, yours is like 20, 30,
20,
40.
25, 30. Yeah.
If you want to send me a headband, let me know.
Hey, did you get something else in the mail today, Jacob?
I did. It's in the other room. though.
Ah,
You want me to go grab it?
yes, because I
Okay, I'll
want
be
to.
back.
I want to know what's inside. We had
Oh, boy.
we had a we had a preseason bet about how many steals the Thunder would have, and Jacob won. So I owed him a steal of a deal from Facebook, and it arrived today, and it is
perfect.
absolutely fantastic.
You nailed it.
I don't know what's inside it though. I've only seen the cover.
The cover.
The cover. All right. Have you not seen this, Nick?
It was in our
No.
group text.
Okay. Nick hasn't
So-
seen this, Jacob.
Justin, will you explain what's
I
going
did.
on here? Oh,
I did.
Beautiful. So I got this little card.
Cream cheese in the chat from George.
Thank you,
George
Justin.
has become immortalized because of the Uncontested podcast.
Alligators and cream cheese.
Please read that. It's a little hard to read on the stream.
Unusual things you can do with cream cheese.
Oh my gosh.
This
We
is
have-
a real.
I'm scared.
This is a real booklet from like.
Mhm.
Does it have like a copyright date? It looks like it's like 50, 60 years old. This is like an actual piece of communication that Philadelphia
D-
cream cheese produced.
Despite teaching college students, Jacob can't read.
You can make delicious pastry treat turnovers and cookies. Gingerbread, fit for a king.
Oh,
With cream
Alex-
cheese?
sure,
They're
why
Alex
not?
Caruso.
Alex Caruso. Yeah. There we
A
go.
tender cheesecake that melts in your mouth.
Hey, oh,
Just
on
take
brand.
one of those.
Pinwheels roll their way to fame. Cream cheese fancies are tempting.
I'm gonna call you cream cheese fancy.
Please. Frost a sandwich loaf with slices like a cake.
Does it? Please tell me it has a hot dog in there.
Something new. Cream cheese cookies. It is the largest selling packaged cheese in the world, especially good for growing children.
What?
Y'all got kids?
Creating or growing?
Especially good for growing children.
The inflection you put on that implied that you're like you're growing a
Yeah,
plant,
hey,
growing children. Just put a little cream cheese in the dirt, give it some sun and water, and
hey,
planting
Justin,
next thing you know, you have a
needs
kid.
Justin needs pumpkin pie. Some of you guys might just need cream cheese.
Shout out George.
whatever.
Shout out
works.
George.
Shout out! I can't believe I got the person selling it to write the note that said cream cheese in the chat.
Where
from
did you
George.
get this from?
I
I
thought
can't.
you wrote
I can't
that.
reveal this. No, that is not. No.
Yeah,
that
the-
was from the
That's
seller.
amazing.
I put a special request asking if they could put a note that said
The
that.
seller has to be so freaked out. Please send a message saying cream cheese in the chat from George.
It's so good.
That's awesome.
Makes me happy.
That's amazing. That was
Jonathan in the
Perfect
chat instead of
yeah.
saying cream cheese says chin crease.
I don't like
I
that.
don't like
I
that.
don't like
think
that
it's-
either.
I think it's time to leave. Connor B says this podcast has Pavloved me into thinking about basketball whenever I hear the words cream cheese. I'm like a Philadelphia sleeper agent.
Incredible.
Oh, that's good.
I'll make some of these cream cheese
Fancies?
cream cheese catastrophes. That's a bar.
that might be first of all, Justin. The
Hey,
stickers,
if you want,
stickers you made.
oh, that stickers are dope.
It
It does say you can write to the Home Economics Department at the Kraft Phoenix Cheese Corporation, 400 Rush Street, Chicago. You can get the new recipe book, Cheese and Ways to Serve It.
I'm going to
The
go ahead and
only-
guess that
the
offer
only-
doesn't still stand.
The path forward here, we somehow find a way to get a cream cheese sponsorship on the
dude.
show.
We make Taylor
Yeah.
just eat a block of cream cheese alive. and
Taylor
then
Taylor
his
enjoys eating
pants.
this shit on the stream, bro. Like
Yeah, he
That's
does.
true.
not cream
Whoa,
cheese.
where'd you go, Nick?
We lost Nick. Nick got crossed over by Shai.
the funny thing is, the last 20 minutes of the show have been at least on my side without a lag, which is great.
Yeah,
I've been on my iPhone hotspot, which is performing better than my $60 a
performing
month
much better.
Wi-Fi.
Oh my
Yikes,
god,
That's
dog.
insane.
it's been perfect since then.
I think what we
that's-
need is a partnership with a place that sells hot dogs, and we need to get the uncontested dog
Schwab.
on the menu with
Schwab's
cream
here and
cheese
okay.
on it.
Schwab, like the investment firm?
Yes, Charles
Schwab dog.
Schwab hot dogs.
What?
Yeah, and You're no issue fan. There was the Danny Stutzman, and who was the other player?
Nick
That's
Martin.
OU, brother.
Yeah, I
Nick
know.
Martin.
With the other Nick Martin.
Yeah, he went to OU.
Nick
He
Martin.
was OSU. Yeah,
This
they
is
did
not a
it.
basketball
Anyways,
podcast. This is not a
It's
basketball.
football. It's football. It's football. It's football. It's football.
It's not really
It's
a
a cream.
basketball
It's a
podcast
cream
anymore.
cheese podcast.
This is a cream cheese podcast now.
If Philadelphia cream cheese
Anyways,
sponsored the pod,
With the
that would
stickers,
go
I was
so
getting
hard.
at our next stickers should just be cream cheese with the uncontested over it.
A block of cream cheese that says the uncontested.
It's a good idea.
Justin would kill it.
I
Justin,
almost
Justin, find a way to get cream cheese flavored vodka.
gross.
That's the
think
best
we
of
can get
two
Prairie
worlds
to
you live
Prairie-
in.
cheese
yeah,
beer?
cream cheese seltzer.
The uncontested brew.
Dude,
Ooh,
how
I'll
hard,
say this.
how hard would it go if there was a can of Prairie beer that just said cream cheese in the chat from George?
Even better,
Gosh.
my favorite sushi ingredient is cream cheese.
There you go.
If we get the George roll, it's just a whole thing of cream cheese and then a seaweed wrap and then rice. I'll dip that in spicy mayo. Oh my god.
Nick, I'm not sure I want George's cream cheese.
I'm pretty sure
Ew.
Keith in the chat said he's joining from his lunch break, which means he's
So confused.
probably one of our Aussie or New Zealand listeners, and he just said, "What is happening?"
thought he was tuning in for a
I
playoff
thought this
podcast.
was going to be a Grizzlies breakdown.
All right, next segment of the pod. Which Memphis Grizzlies player is most likely to eat some cream cheese in the post-game press conference?
Zach Edey.
100%.
Second's Luke Kennard. Hey, Luke Kennard had some great minutes tonight.
Luke Kennard should have a Menard sponsor.
Luke
He should.
Kennard.
That's an inside joke for those of you who do not subscribe to the Patreon, so
Hey,
be sure to do so.
Hey, if they're not
More
inside, they're
money.
outside. Don't acknowledge them.
Money, please.
We need to end this podcast.
Yeah, we need to. This thing needs to
This
die.
is what
Shout out
happens when the
Keith.
Thunder win 20.
Kind of
Shout out
like
Keith
Zach
listening,
Edey. This podcast needs to die.
Keith
Oh,
just said
he's-
he's tuning in from Perth, Australia. That's
Keith,
awesome.
you, I hope, are a fan of Alex Tui out of the Perth Wildcats, who will be an NBA draft prospect that we might talk about. Second round pick with that number 44 Atlanta Hawks pick. He could be a
That'd be
Thunder.
fun.
Look at that. Way to bring basketball into this.
Yes.
Thank you, Nick.
Back on
Let's go to
track.
bed.
All right, last thing. Like legit though. One word to describe game 2. I kind of like this practice that we're doing. One word to describe game 2. Nick, I'm coming to you first.
The question was what?
One word to describe game 2. That's the third time I've said that. Do I need to repeat it again?
One more time.
One word to describe game 2. You're getting me in good habit to go back to teaching high school again, Nick. I appreciate this.
We'll go with suffocating. Did someone use that last time?
I don't think so.
No Shannon
Suffocating's a
Sharp?
good one. Suffocating.
Suffocating.
Taylor, what?
No Shannon Sharp.
Yikes, dog. I didn't process that as you said it.
Woo, it took me a minute too. That was great. A great reference.
Taylor,
mine
what's your
would-
word?
Mine would be swarming.
Swarming. Justin?
Whooping.
Whooping.
That trick.
I like it. I will go Baldy.
You
that
got
was
called
a
Baldy
Russo
in the
one, huh?
chat tonight. That
I
was
know, Connor. Go to
hilarious.
hell, buddy.
Connor called you Baldy.
I love you, Connor.
I gotta
Justin,
find that
let's
chat.
leave with the last super.
It's from our guy Smoot. Memphis Grizzlies, cream cheese glizzies, don't matter. OKC in 4.
Love it.
Banger.
Hey, thank you for tuning into the Uncontested Podcast Game 2 post-game show. We really appreciate you guys. If you have not subbed to the YouTube channel yet, you should do that. That would be awesome. We go live after every playoff game. If you don't follow us on social media, you should do that as well. We're on Twitter, Instagram, maybe some other places. I don't know. You should join the Patreon. The Discord chat was going off tonight. We were having a blast in there. If you want to mail me a headband to look like Alex Caruso on the podcast, get my DMs. We can set that up. You guys have a great Wednesday. We will be back late Thursday night as the game tips off at 8:30 p.m. So about 11 p.m. podcast immediately following the game. So make sure you're subbed to the YouTube channel. You got those notifications on so you can get the noti as soon as we go live. Guys, 2 down, 14 to go. They're on their way.
Yerp.
Thunder up.